Hi, this is Terrence Pennington, and I'm speaking with you today from my home office here in Dallas, Texas. The topic I'd like to talk with you about today is career change at 50. How's that working for you? You know, there are millions of talented people who are contemplating a career change at 50 or thereabouts. The corporate world doesn't seem to offer much in the way of relief. So I'd like to discuss what options did I find out there and how did I make the transition? You know, I considered a career change at 50 years old, and that was in 1998. I moved to Texas from New York City, principally because I felt that the prospects of corporate work here were greater than they were in New York at the time. The unemployment rate in Dallas, Texas was 3%. I was confident that I would procure an excellent position in 3 to 4 months at my level. After 23 years in career human resources management, in operations, marketing, and sales, I thought that I had options. And I believed that many doors would open for me. Much to my surprise, 14 months later, after moving to Dallas, I had almost exhausted my savings. I had sent out 1,400 resumes. I'd registered with several agencies, and I had gotten a whopping 3 interviews. Folks, I was in deep poopie. I was 2,000 miles from home in a strange city, running out of options and running out of money. So my career at age 50 years old ended up by me putting my pride in my pocket and then taking a job as a call center customer service representative for a mail order drug firm for about $18,000 per year. Now, 6 months later, I was able to land a management training job for a national car rental company for about $22,000 a year. And 1 year later, I was the manager of the branch, making a whopping $29,000 a year. You know, I have found that the notion of career change at 50 years old, working for corporate America, is really a lesson in futility. I don't encourage anyone to pursue it. Very few people at that age will realize the potential that they deserve. Yet a career change at 50 years old is possible, and we're going to discuss how. You know, when I realized that corporate America had put me permanently out to pasture and wanted to pay me about 25% of what I was worth, I had to make that transition from corporate man to entrepreneur. And my friends, that transition was not pretty. I did make a career change at 50 years old, but I had to do it in steps. And I'll go into more detail about that transition in future videos. But suffice to say, I had to take complete responsibility for my success and the change in my paradigms regarding work and success. Today, I'm the president of my own company. It's a small business that I started at 57 years old. That was 8 years ago. I had to reinvent myself then. I am still reinventing myself now, and I'll continue to do so for the next few years. But I've learned that dependence on a corporation for my financial security is not the way to go. Bottom line, if you're thinking about or are being forced to make a career change at 50 years old, know that you can do it. And there are many options that you can consider besides destitution and indignity. It can work for you. There are many things you can do once you decide to adopt an entrepreneurial attitude, an entrepreneurial mindset, and an entrepreneurial disposition. You can do it. You just need a little help. And we'll talk about that transition and the help that you can get in future videos. This is Terrence Pennington. Thanks for listening. Talk to you next time.